Good morning. Welcome back to the Longview Library Garden, or, well, it's pretty cold outside, so welcome to the reference room, where I am very excited to be talking to you about these two sticks. Whoa, whoa, whoa! These are very special sticks. Today, we're going to talk about one of the easiest, most straightforward ways you can get into making new plants, and that's hardwood cuttings. That's where these sticks come into it. So hardwood cuttings are cuttings that are taken when the plant, typically trees and shrubs, are dormant. So between leaf fall and bud break in the spring. Although you want to avoid the deep winter in the middle there when things are frozen. There are no hard and fast rules, but you'll just have more success. So let's take a look at these sticks. So these are cuttings from the red osier dogwood, or red twig dogwood, a native that roots really readily from cuttings. It has beautiful red stems. Now, when you're selecting your cutting, you want to look for recent growth that's gotten tough enough that it's not pliable, it's hardened. Hopefully it's straight, you don't always get lucky, and hopefully it doesn't have any side shoots. You can see mine have some side shoots here, so I'm going to want to clean that up. You're going to want to cut off any soft growth toward the end of the stem, and you're going to want to make a sharp diagonal cut. Luckily, I have my clippers with me, and I'm going to show you how to make that cut at the top. So you're going to come in here and make a nice, sharply angled cut. Something you're going to want to really pay attention to, and you may never have noticed this, are the nodes. You can see just little lines. And that's where leaves are going to come out. But when we stick these, that's where the rooting is going to really emanate from. And so when we cut the bottom, you want to make sure you have ideally 3 or 4 of these in your cutting. And then when we do the bottom, we're going to cut straight across, right as close as we can get to one of those nodes. So this cutting is ready to go. And believe it or not, in a relatively short time, this is going to be a whole new plant. You're going to put it in soil. That can be in a pot, raised bed, even a trench in the ground, and you're going to put it 2/3 of the way in the soil. That's where this slanted cut's going to come in handy. It's going to remind you to put the bottom down, which is very important. If you need a little help, it's a harder to root thing, or it's very special, you might use rooting hormone, which comes as powder liquid that you can dip the cutting in. That's going to help it form roots. And then it's really a set it and forget it kind of process. You might shelter it in a really severe winter, but by spring it's going to root and start leafing out, and you can pot it up. So if you're intrigued by this process, here are some books you might want to check out. Garden Plants for Free by Tony Derrick, which includes a lot of common plants you might really want to propagate. The American Horticultural Society's Plant Propagation, which is chock full of information and some really good illustrations. And lastly, a favorite of mine, Creative Propagation, which is just a great handbook by Peter Thompson that includes all kinds of tables for easy reference. It's really accessible, and it comes out of that great British gardener tradition. A lot of people don't know this, but this process also works for gnomes. Take Jeremy here, a few careful cuts, the hat, the beard maybe, bury him 2/3 deep and leave him all winter, and you'd have a new gnome. Jeremy, where did you go? I was just kidding. In all seriousness, folks, this is a great process. If you don't have a lot of money for plants, it's a great way to expand your collection. And if you have a plant that's really special to you, say Grandma's snowball bush, you can take cuttings and keep it going forever. One other thing I want to mention, the best propagators are never afraid to experiment, and neither should you. Well, that'll do it for this episode. We hope you've enjoyed it. I'm Austin Brigden. This is Jeremy. We've got to grow, but we'll see you later in the Longview Library Garden.